Alright, so we have the first 5 minutes of Stranger Things Season 5 that was released during Stranger Things Day. This is basically the opening scene of the final season and how it's all gonna go down. And this is all based on the flashback from November 6th, 1983 with young Will Byers in the Upside Down and his presence with Vecna, and there is so much to go over as well. And so this will be my full breakdown of the opening scene for Stranger Things Season 5, pointing out connections and callbacks, especially from the beginning of the show, and how it's all going to tie into what's going to be a great grand finale for the entirety of Stranger Things as well. And so buckle your seatbelts. And so if you're new there, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. But now let's get right into it. And now, with the first frame that we open up very slowly is revealing Castle Byers, and this is indeed in the Upside Down, and we are being taken place to November 6th, 1983, the day Will Byers went missing, and especially with Castle Byers that was showcased throughout the entirety of the show, and this is Will's secret hiding spot, and then we hear young Will singing "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" But this is also referring to the first line of the script that the Duffer Brothers did reveal on Stranger Things Day 2023 when it said, "Cold wind, growing trees, and a child's voice singing a familiar song." And that is indeed "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" And this is also a callback to Season 1, Episode 2, when Jonathan was having a memory of him with Will jamming out to "Should I Stay or Should I Go?" in his bedroom. And so with him singing this song, and it kind of makes sense that they would do this and to open up the final season like this, because it is going to be a Will Byers led season. All the focus is going to be surrounding on him, and then we see Will just laying there, and then we hear like a jump scare from a Demogorgon as it is coming for him. And now, even as we open up with him on Castle Byers, is that, yeah, this was the place where he was being taken to when he disappeared into the Upside Down for when the Demogorgon was going after him. And then, right as the Demogorgon comes to attack him, and we see Will getting ready with his rifle to shoot the Demogorgon. And now, a very important thing that I want to point out here is with the rifle that he has in his hand, and that was his weapon that he used, and maybe when he was taken into the Upside Down that night, and I'm wondering if it was with him the whole time, and even though that this is young Will having a rifle in his hand going to shoot the Demogorgon. And even with the de-aging technology that was used on young Will's face, and I kind of like it, and it's really looking clean, and the fact that they spent a whole year filming this final season, and it totally makes sense of why they would want to take their time just focusing on young Will flashbacks. And then we see Will running from the Demogorgon and climbing up a tree. And now this is just a little kid that was taken into the Upside Down by the Demogorgon. And then we see Will climbing up a tree, trying to get away from the Demogorgon. And then as he is looking all scared and terrified, and then we get the Demogorgon trying to go after Will, but then we see him jump from one tree to another, and with the shot right here, that's all from trailer footage, and this is how somehow with Will, and now that he is trying to get away from this Demogorgon, and even though we see him fall, getting hung up by his backpack, and then he obviously gets himself loose by it, and then we see the Demogorgon pulling him away, and then we get the shot that was also from the opening of the official trailer, and that is Hawkins in the Upside Down. And I can't tell this is Hawkins' library, but this is definitely in 1983, and this is where Will is being taken. Then we see all the Demogorgons bowing down to Vecna, and ladies and gentlemen, we get the full reveal of Vecna. And now, to be fair, that even though this is a flashback to 1983, this is Vecna in human form, but what we would later see in the fall of 1987 is him now in like a terrifying, a strong buff form, but here this is just a flashback And also, I figured that this would answer a ton of questions that we had since the beginning of the show, and that is, why was Will Byers taken to the Upside Down in Season 1, and also, what is the Upside Down really? And I think with Vecna now using Will as sort of like his spy or doing something with him, and that would explain everything. And then we see Will being tied up by vines and something going in his mouth, and especially with the shot, and it's also a callback to the end of Season 1 for when 11 first found Will in the Upside Down, because she knows everything about it. And then for when Will is rescued later in the Season 1 finale by Joyce and Hopper when they go in to rescue Will. And then we see Vecna getting close to William, and then we hear him say this big line. It says, "You and I are gonna do such beautiful things together, William. Such beautiful things." And now, even with Vecna saying his full name, William, that when he was first being taken into the Upside Down, like, how does he know his name? And we know it was also spoken in trailer footage when he said William, and then he levitated Will, and then he brought him straight to him, and then we hear Vecna say to Will one last time, and that was when Will was being like so scared and so terrified when he was so close to Vecna, and that was the mic shot from the trailer. But for what we can tell here from this 1983 flashback, is definitely going to answer a ton of questions, and we still don't know the context of why was Will Byers being taken there. What did Vecna want with Will when he was first taken there? And I think, like, and with people saying that, like, Vecna using Will as a spy, that's also going to be a plot and storyline explored in Season 5, but I think we are definitely in for a treat, and I just do think that this final season is going to deliver. And based on the first 5 minutes of footage that was released, and from the tone and the VFX shots and everything from the Upside Down, and even for how big of a role that Will Byers is gonna play when he's definitely in control of Vecna, it is gonna be insanely huge. And the Duffer Brothers know what they are doing to lead the show to a conclusion, and this is just the gang's plan to go out, find Vecna, and eradicate the Upside Down. And we are definitely getting a lot of Will Byers flashbacks, and that's why we see a young de-aged Will Byers, and the flashbacks are definitely going to be key to how, just for how strong Will's presence is going to be when he is with the gang. And yeah, I'm guessing from my biggest takeaway here, I think this opening scene looks so incredible, just from the score, for how everything is so crafted, and just for how young Will Byers looks, and even from when the show came out in 2016, and just based on everything that we know. And I think November 26th is going to be a big day for us Stranger Things fans, when we finally sit down to watch the epic ending to this awesome show as well. So yeah, I can't wait for it. I'll be doing my full coverage of it. But this opening scene, the first 5 minutes, was just so incredible. It makes me more excited to see the final season even more, even if it's just the first 5 minutes alone. But we'll definitely be getting more of this, and I can't wait to see the rest of Season 5 when it drops on November 26th. But that's going to do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and what were your thoughts on the first 5 minutes of Stranger Things Season 5, and just what were your predictions based on how you look at it, the opening scene, and just everything else. Just let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, and subscribe and turn on notifications for future videos. And also follow all my social medias all linked down below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.